guys, welcome back to Angel Angela, and on this topic this morning, you guys, I want to talk to you guys about how the narcissist will never leave you alone. Basically, the narcissist will never leave you alone. So if you're in a relationship, if you're wondering if the narcissist will ever be back, or you haven't spoken to them in months, years, time, first of all, one thing that people need to understand about narcissists is that time means nothing to a narcissist. Time is nothing to them. They're looking at that like, I'm wasting time. I'm living life wasting time. I'm doing what I want. One thing that always stood out to me with the narcissists that I dealt with was when they told me, because I felt like we're going to be together forever. He said to me, you're going to leave me before I leave you. And I never understood what that meant, until I healed and finally went back and remembered the times where I was almost sleepwalking in this, daydream and certain things that were being said. I just couldn't process them in the way that I process them now. And that's because their intentions were never to discard a supply, but to, make their way back around until you decide that that's not the life that you want to live, that there are other choices. But while being a slave to them, they will not let you know what those choices are. They're like, I'm selling this game to you. It's up to you to figure it out. I've already, told you guys that my grandmother got hoovered at 70 years old when my grandfather passed away. And, these type of people, like, once you connect with these people, that's a wrap. This is why you have to be careful about who you invite into your circle. This is why you have to be careful about who you argue with. You have to be careful about who you feed into their, whose energy you feed into. This is why you have to be careful about who you empathize with and who, you go hard for. This is why it's always best to treat people kind, regardless of their personalities and what they look like. It's always good to treat people with respect, because as long as you treat people with respect, you're staying out the way. Now, when a narcissist crosses you and you want to revenge them, narcissists are very revengeful people. They never let anything go once they feel like, you try to get over on them or you try to defend yourself. They basically feel like they should be able to abuse you like a small child, hitting you, forcing you into submission to buy them something, So the narcissist is the same way. So when it comes to these type of people, they're not going to stop kicking and screaming until they get what they want. And they know that if they can't do it by physically abusing you, verbally or financially abusing you, they know that, eventually, you're going to have to give in to them, because they're going to be super persistent and not leave you alone. The narcissist will not leave you alone. The narcissist will never leave you alone. Their spirit will never leave you alone. Even when you don't feel attached to this person, even when you don't feel like, even when you know that this person can't control you anymore, they can't do anything to you, there's still that thought in your mind like, is this person going to come around, or am I ever going to see this person again? Or I wonder when I'm going to see them again, because you just, the way this world works, I can see this person 20, 30 years from now, but a lot of times, that their energy won't leave you alone. Somehow things will just get back to you, and because of this is why the narcissist tries to gather as many supplies as they can. This is why they target as many people as they can, because they feel like even if it doesn't work out, I can connect with this person later on and just be friends with them. I can call them and once they move on with their life, I can call them and talk to them and be their friend. And everything, when the narcissist targets people, It's because they're expecting to exploit you, and then they're expecting for time and years to go by and then to exploit you again. They're like, I'll exploit you later, but later on we're going to look at each other like friends, and you're going to supply me with your friendship. So it's all about supply with them. They're looking at it like, if I get as many supplies as I can, one day I can go back and talk to people from the past and befriend these people and talk about all the memories that we made in the past, talk about the good, the bad, and it's going to feel like we're best friends, like we forgave each other, we got past all of these things, right? A lot of times, you have to be very careful with these people, because if you open that door and you don't give them what they want, that's when they become vindictive. That's when they want to steal from you, destroy your life. A lot of times, it's very, detrimental to your safety when you're working every day, or when you're coming home from work and you're dealing with narcissistic neighbors, to also understand that people that live around you who might be narcissists, who are targeting you, or who you've said something to because they did something to you and now you brought it to their attention. You have to understand that the more you talk to these people, the more you feed into them, the more they're going to bother you, the more they're going to escalate. Because when you say something to the narcissist, even if you say it in a pleasant way or you're joking around, to them, they don't look at it as just a joke. Even if they joke back with you, they're thinking, you were serious about that joke, so now I'm going to get you back for that. Anytime the narcissist isn't happy, they're thinking of ways to go back to the past and hurt others who they feel are doing much better than them at this point in time. So narcissists will always go back to the past. They will always circle back around, because they know eventually time is going to pass. People are going to forgive me, because they've moved on with their life. They're getting good luck. I know they're getting good luck. So they'll come back around later on, hoping that when they finally, hit the end of the road, they're hoping that when they hit the end of the road, they can look back and people can have sympathy for them. But when it comes to these people that you might live around, or people that, like I said, you work with and things like that, it's even more dangerous with these people around you. Even if you're connecting to a narcissist in a relationship, sometimes even the people around you that you feel like, oh, they're nobody, they're going to forget me because I'm not thinking about them. I'm not even close to them the way I'm close to the narcissist. The narcissist, that really hurts me because they're family, they're friends, they're my partner. But these people, these strangers, don't underestimate them. Do not underestimate strangers, because they're worse. They're going to be worse than your friends and your family, because they don't know you at all. They don't know you. They don't have any connections to you, and they're going to take things on a personal level to a whole nother level. And this means that when time has passed by, these people won't leave you alone. They'll harass you. When time has passed by and you're not even thinking about them, you're not thinking they're thinking about you, because you ran across them so many times already. You're thinking like, we're not thinking of each other. You'll catch them doing crazy things behind your back. And a lot of times when they do it, the crazy part is, a lot of times when they start to revenge you months later, it will happen in a way where you'll catch them like they're trying to be sneaky about it. So a lot of times they'll try to be sneaky about it, but you'll catch them in the act, So these people won't leave you alone. And once your instincts get stronger, when it comes to these people, you'll be able to see what they're going to do before you just feel it. You feel what they're going to do before they do it. It's like you feel them, coming through that door. You feel that they're going to call. It's like that instinct that is so natural that you just, things, when someone is approaching your door or something like that. It's going to get to the point where you're going to sense what these people are doing to revenge you months, years later. You're going to sense it, like, I think that person's thinking about me. So it'll get to the point where your instincts will just be so much, stronger, and you'll detect that these people are thinking about you to the point that they're thinking of doing something wicked. So this is why narcissists are very dangerous people, because they're constantly, these are people that are literally constantly every day thinking of doing wicked things, meaning that narcissist men, Jezebel spirits, they're all going online, they're stalking people, they're trolling people, they're making fake accounts, they're going on dating sites. This is the playground for the narcissist. And here you come in saying hi to everyone, and they're looking at you like, hey, you're new to the group? Oh, she doesn't know how this works. He doesn't know how this works. We all know each other. We act like we don't know each other. That's part of the fun part about this game, is that we act like we don't know each other. The narcissist will never leave you alone, and they're never alone, and they always have flying monkeys. That's why they're barking so loud at you, because they have flying monkeys. It's like a little chihuahua when she has, when she or he is surrounded with more chihuahuas, more dogs around. They're really barking, Now they're really barking. So you can tell a lot about a narcissist just by watching them when the flying monkeys and everyone is all riled up. They're all riled up, but yet they're the ones who can't leave you alone. You're not thinking about them, and here come the flying monkeys doing something real bogus to you, bothering you. You're minding your business. You're not thinking of no one. And maybe you had a bad day and you don't want to admit that you had a bad day. And here comes that energy trying to get to you because you had a bad day, because you reacted. You reacted to something else. But this other narcissist that won't leave you alone, that energy is still coming for you. So this is why you have to stay clear of negativity, because while you're reacting to one negative event, it's going to literally play itself out with something else negative happening. And now, because you're on this lower frequency, somebody brought you to this lower frequency. Now this other evil frequency of a narcissist is thinking about you. So now you're coming home and your neighbor's doing something bogus, and you're like, I already was pissed about this. Now I'm coming home and I'm experiencing this. And all I wanted to do was sit here and have peace of mind. What the hell is wrong with these people? This is why you can't give in to that energy. When that energy is after you and it won't leave you alone, it wants you to give in. It's like a ripple effect. Once you give in, you start seeing it. So when you start seeing it, you catch it and you smile at it. And you cannot lower your frequency. If you need to cry it out real quick, cry it out. But really, you need to really get strong to the point where when you see that these people are coming back around, they're sending hate mail towards you, they're emailing you, they're cyberbullying you, you have to really let it go and always think about your safety, especially in your own home, especially in your own house. Narcissists are people that, you have to be very careful when you come across them, when you meet them, when you invite them into your space, because these are people that are very hard to get rid of and try, very hard to try to disconnect from them. And a lot of times, like I've said, you can actually believe that this person is an empath, because an empath is also someone who loves very deeply. And, this is someone that's willing to forgive you, willing to come back around you, and can be also, looked at as a narcissist. But the difference between the characteristics that the narcissist portray, see, the narcissist likes to use, the empath's pain as a way to cope for their narcissism by trying to express almost like they are the same as the empath. But the reason you can tell that this is a narcissist and someone toxic is because they won't leave you alone, and they won't leave you alone because their will is to abuse you in the end. It's always going to come up, it's always going to result as this person using you for your time, using you for your love, your affection, gains, personal gains, and, status. So, whether it's to make themselves look good or to make themselves desirable. So this is someone that, will try to make it seem like they're empathetic, and this is why they keep coming back to you, because the empath is very forgiving, so they start to use your behaviors against you by basically saying that when you're doing it, it's wrong, yet they're the ones who took it to that level of fight or flight. They took you to that space, and this is why you'll feel very anxious, and you'll basically never know where you stand with these people, whether they're coming to revenge you or, they just, are wishing bad on you. You just never truly know. This is why it's very important that you are very careful when you are talking to people and, they seem like they could be like you, but then there's something off about them. They think they're better, they're smarter, they think that they're above you, they think that they have a better understanding when it comes to the world. They belittle you. They quickly try to use you. They quickly try to place you in their life to where they're trying to make it seem like you just always, you've known this person your whole life. They move really quickly. And then when you don't comply to their needs, now they don't like you. Now they have something against you, a lot of times they can even, not like you from the start, just because when you're speaking facts, it triggers them because they can think of situations where they've done these things to people. And that's really why a lot of these people will naturally, not like you, because they already know the way you think, the way you behave. It's something that they're not used to. And because they're not used to it, they're judging you. They're thinking, you don't know nothing about this lifestyle. My life is harder than you. My life's been harder than you. They don't know what you actually went through to make it to where you're at as a positive human being that understands what's going on. But, they want you to second guess yourself and question yourself, even though you know what's right and what's wrong and what you believe in and your own, your own boundaries that you have set for yourself. But they want to know how strong and resilient are you when it comes to these boundaries. And if you're not resilient in what you preach, then they feel like they can step all over you and come back whenever they want. So these are people that, are willing to come back, months, years later and act like, they didn't do anything. So these are people that won't leave you alone. And sometimes, they'll wish bad on you. They'll do things years later just because they feel like you betrayed them and you did nothing to this person. They feel like you left them at their weakest point, but really they betrayed you from the start. When I say that, these people won't leave you alone, it doesn't mean necessarily that they're always in your face. Although, these are the type of people that they're going to be on your face. They're going to reappear when you're not thinking of them, whether it's your spouse, whether it's your neighbor, whether it's your friend, whether they're going to come back to the scene of the crime. They always come back and then they act like they didn't do anything. They come pretending like it wasn't that bad. But when it comes to them not leaving you alone, it doesn't necessarily have to be that they're in your face. This could be them talking about you to other people, them still gossiping about what they did to you or what was said and done. They will always bring up the past. They cannot erase the memories, the times. So they won't leave you alone because they are still speaking your name into existence. And this is why you have to be careful about going back and forth, because narcissists need stories to tell, to fuel them until they can't get any fuel like they used to. So what they do is that they try to keep your name alive until people don't want to hear about it anymore. So when they find new sources of supply, new flying monkeys, they're excited about sharing their stories all over again. This is why they're storytellers. This is why they share stuff with different people. And you're like, oh, here comes my grandmother, sharing that story again. And there's a lot of loops and gaps that they are not telling you, but they're sharing these stories, and to you might get one version out of it, but in their minds, there's another version going on in their minds, and they're being fueled by the thoughts of the past. Another, thing that I wanted to point out when you're dealing with narcissists who won't let you go. They won't let the memories that you shared together go, the tragedies, the arguments. They won't let this stuff go, and they talk to other people about it, right? You might be wondering, like, why do they do this? Like, why don't they stop? Like, why do they keep coming back? Why do they, why do flying monkeys start doing stuff out of nowhere? Like, sometimes the flying monkeys will do something out of nowhere, say something to you out of nowhere, antagonize you, and you're wondering why. And a part of you knows why. You know that the narcissist must have been bashing you out. You know that. But you're not really thinking about the bigger picture, and the bigger picture is that the narcissist doesn't really care. When the narcissist speaks of you or the past, they're speaking in general to make people relate to them. They want people to relate to them. The narcissist doesn't necessarily, care about the things that they did to you, how they hurt you, how they use you. They can actually move on and, not look back. That's not really what drives the narcissist to gossip to other people about you, to keep that energy going. It's the fact that a lot of people are being abused, a lot of people are being manipulated, and because of this, the narcissist uses it for their own fun, for their own convenience. One thing that the narcissist has learned, from manipulating others, is that there are a lot of people who are going through heartache problems, a lot of people who need advice that, they can't simply get from the people around them. So this is why the narcissist seeks empaths and preys on empaths based on the information you give them. This is why they have to find out your flaws. They have to find out your childhood. They have to find out your past to use all these things against you, right? But they don't necessarily care. They don't care. They don't really give a damn, to be honest with you. It's all about the fact that the people around them are going through things and they need to focus the attention on them, but at the same time make those people feel like, hey, we're the same. We're going through the same things. So instead of those people redirecting their anger towards the people who are hurting them, they're going to redirect it towards you, because the narcissist seeks those people to bring up the past, not because they necessarily just like to gossip, but because they're trying to stir something up in order to keep you connected to them. While at the same time, the narcissist becomes almost like a television show, like a movie to these people, because they are being distracted with the narcissist drama in their world, and now they've redirected their energy towards the narcissist instead of their own problems and their own needs. So this is why they'll focus more on what's going on with the narcissist. They'll defend this person till the end, while they have their own issues, their own problems. Maybe they're even going through the same situation, but they're just so focused on your problems because the narcissist has mastered how to prey on people's emotions. So you're mad at the flying monkeys, but really it's the narcissist that's puppeting everyone. It's the narcissist that won't leave you alone. It's the narcissist using other people to get to you, to antagonize you, for no good reason, but the simple fact that they want attention, whether it's good or bad. And as sick as it sounds, these are things that I learned from the narcissists themselves. This is the thing. These are the things that the narcissist brought to my attention that I wasn't even aware of. They will sit there and tell me, look, everyone likes to gossip. Everyone needs a story to tell. Everyone needs a story to tell, something to talk about. And I would see him get together with people. I would see him wake up in the morning and go to his family and go and sit around and talk. And I'm sitting there wondering, if you don't like that these people are gossiping, why do you include yourself in these group meetings and these group gatherings where people are gossiping? And they're kind of like, I have to do it. The narcissist is like, I have to do it, or else I won't fit in, or else I won't fit in because everyone's hurting. I'm not hurting, but I have to pretend like I have issues too. Or anytime that I'm getting my karma, I have to pretend like I'm a victim. So they've learned these tactics. They learned how to blend in. They know how to blend in. Gossiping, that's something that, to be honest with you, some narcissists actually don't do, depending on what type of narcissist you're dealing with. You have certain narcissists that they don't like to gossip. They're not thinking of gossiping, especially to people that they feel like aren't going to be on their side. See, if they know someone's going to be on their side, if someone's going to spy on you, if someone's going to benefit them, they'll gossip about you. They'll befriend your neighbors. They'll befriend people, anyone that's connected to you, if they feel like they can get information out of that person, or they can exploit that person later on. But besides that, the narcissist can care less about the gossip. They only include themselves in the gossip, and that's to stay connected to you. That's to get other people to do their dirty work. That's to prey on people's emotions, whether they're empaths, narcissists. They're getting these people riled up, and a lot of times these people will bring you up when they're not thinking about you. They discard you. They're not thinking about you, but the people are wondering, what happened to that person? How come you don't talk about them anymore? Did you even really love them? That's weird. It seems like you guys didn't even love each other, didn't even care about each other. Or, they'll tell the narcissist, hey, guess who I bumped into? Your ex. They're the ones who want to keep going back to the past, which leaves the narcissist to be a slave to the past. So the narcissist becomes a slave to the past, all because they included themselves in gossip. So I hope that this message, you guys, was helpful. If you guys want to book a session with me, my booking information is in the description. And, do not forget to like, share, donate, subscribe to my channel if you guys have not subscribed, and just give me 24 hours to respond to you for the booking. And I'll talk to you guys on the next one. Love you guys. Bye.